Good morning, everybody. This will be a Blood Leagues Division 8 Round 3 match between Ghost of Nox and ABINS. This is being cast by myself, Bacon Lord, and with me is Navid. How are you doing today, Navid?
Yep, doing good. Hopefully, gonna have a good match today.
Yeah, looking forward to this match, so curious to see how it goes. Appears that both teams are ready, so let's go ahead and get going on the first match, which will be Hibernal Rift. I'm already seeing a Phoenix Hawk, a Firefighter on ABINS, an XE, a Crusader. It looks like a very more aggressive deck from the ABINS side, for sure. What about GNX?
GNX has two Wolfhounds and two Black Lanterns, an Executioner, a Timberwolf, and the Sun Spider. So a little bit low on the trading side, but good wolf pack.
Both sides are pushing down this sort of spine on the right side of the map into each other here, it appears, with ABINS focusing more on actually getting Theta instead of just full sending this side. A bit of trading. I think the Sun Spider might be in a bit of a hard situation here shortly when these Crusaders and Phoenix Hawks crest, which they don't seem to know that it's here.
We have gained Epsilon.
GNX seems to have been kind of corralled into this low ground on the side here. ABINS is cresting the top and now pushing in.
Yeah, ABINS is pushing.
Looks like they're focusing on a couple different targets at once. Simple Yukio and Atlanta's taking quite a bit of damage, as well as Buster Machine and the XE. James Bomb and Atlanta goes down first. Meanwhile, Bowser's been tanking quite a bit this whole time. He is lit everywhere and now dead.
Yeah, Buster Machine is getting focused. It got double-legged. These Wolfhounds, they don't really have DPS for these kind of pushes.
No, they are still fresh, but
Yeah, I think
they're
they
a lower
haven't
priority
been,
target.
Yeah, they're not being called as a priority target.
They've taken Epsilon.
A lot of UAVs, jeez. Lionel Luther trying to hold out here on the side.
They're now attacking the Timberwolf.
Stimrog's almost dead, but he's just chilling behind a rock.
Yep. I think this is over already.
Yeah, for sure. Much more aggressive, superior deck coming out of ABINS with that first one.
Yeah.
The enemy has capped enough resources. We've failed.
Yeah, that was well played by ABINS.
Yep, they crested the top all at the same time and pushed in and just put the slap down on. Wait for the lobby stats to load. One in queue. Yeah, damage threat's pretty nice across the board for ABINS with TTB, Saiso, Texan, even Temu, all kind of doing around the same damage, 400 or 500 damage or so.
Yeah, and they had good focus fire.
Yeah, I mean the damage numbers weren't that different. Like they were pretty even on both teams. I guess Maybe it was really just more of a focus fire thing.
It was a focus fire thing, because more or less, because when I was spectating, GNX went into a little bit of panic mode, at least from looking at how they started shooting at targets. But yeah, it got better, but ABINS had the focus fire right from the start.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. Yeah, moving over here to the map strat. Our next map is going to be Caustic.
It's an interesting map.
Yep. Aubins will be on the top of the map, so they'll be Team 2. GNX will be on the bottom. I think this map may be more in GNX's favor since they tend to favor trading and pop-tarting more. But you can make pushes work on this map.
Yeah, I mean, both teams can do pushes, of course. GNX, in my opinion, has the better side on this map. Um,
Yeah,
at
Team 1
least,
you have free cover all the way to Theta from Team 1.
yeah. And also, Team 1 gives you better opportunity for receiving a push. However, the difference between the sides are not that big. It's just that Team 1 in the opener has a little bit of advantage.
Caustic's also one of the maps where thermal's pretty good for the most part. There are these giant smokestacks around the center theta area that basically obscure all vision. It doesn't matter if you're using thermal or standard or night vision, it just blocks
Yeah,
your vision.
thermal's pretty good in scouting, at least sort of like detecting movements around the map, see if there's any people trying to sneak in from sides, and or because there are a lot of cover pieces in the middle and a lot of angles, you can see uh, like whatever's moving or cresting, especially if they have ECM.
Yeah, 100%. We're just waiting for the teams to get readied up here, and we'll be ready to go into the second match. Team 1 is locked. Just waiting on Team 2. Team 2 is all green on the board. Just waiting for the locked to come out.
Yep.
Team 2 is locked.
Well, let's go. Dropships coming in.
Command coming in. Capture and hold the
GNX
resource point. Any
has
hostiles are getting your way.
Executioners, Hunchback 2Cs, Wolfhounds again, and a Timberwolf.
A bit of laser's
Def-
vomit for sure with the wolfhounds.
Yeah, definitely feels more like a pushy, quote unquote, pushy deck.
Enemy
Meanwhile,
forces have Sigma. We have Gamma. Kappa
yeah,
is
so
under enemy control.
both teams are going for full aggression.
We have gained
However,
info.
I think that ABINS has the superior deck for this kind of play, especially when the enemy is not holding angles or anything. But I don't think this has been scouted.
No, and they also have GNX has this hunchback just in the back
Yeah,
of the
and
map
there is
here.
one thing. GNX has Wolfhounds, which I don't like in this situation.
If you want to pop into one of the cockpits or anything, just let me know. They're just up here on this ridge, just sort of trading, but up onto these X's and Timberwolves, which essentially don't have a wolf pack to screen for them.
Theta
No.
is controlled by the enemy.
Like the Wolfhounds are not really getting that many shots in, at least from what I can see. They're getting some shots, but the enemy Wolfpack is moving in.
Yep. With Scout Derek going pretty deep here on this push.
Yeah.
He's now backing out.
There seems to be sort of like a...
I thought ABINS was going to be a bit more aggressive with that push there, but they kind of
Yeah.
they stopped. Not before taking
Yeah.
down Buster.
Yeah. There's a little bit of that not being on the same page going on GNX. Some people are shooting CT, some people are shooting legs on lights.
Yep, and these Wolfhounds just don't really have it in them, I don't know, to
No.
stop this. They're just kiting. Oh no, Lionel should be going down here soon.
Yeah. Yeah, as I said, these Wolfhounds don't really have enough DPS to stop
Enemy has
something
gathered
like
enough
this.
resources. We've failed.
Second drop goes to ABINS. Pretty decisive and clear victory.
Yeah.
They just definitely played that a bit better.
Yeah, absolutely.
Just grabbing these match IDs. Hold on.
Like the general idea behind GNX decks is fine. It's just that mech picks and envisioning what each mech is going to do is a little bit mismatched.
Cool. Finally loaded. Okay, there we go. The real question is, did the Spirit Bear farm? It did not. The Spirit Bear did not farm.
Yeah, it's fine.
I mean, the Wolfhounds, they were alive till the end, and I mean, the 1A was able to get 390 damage in, but the Grinner was only able to get around 100.
Yeah, I was spectating the Grinner, but most of the time the Grinner was moving around rocks and obstacles trying to get an angle. But as I said, because there's so much cover, so much like geometry in the middle of the map, you can't really like get a clear window to shoot with a mid-range Wolfhound compared to something that's in there like something like a close range Phoenix Hawk or a fire starter that's just like putting down fire into the enemy. Like the Wolfhound, it basically causes you to not have focus fire because at that point you're gonna shoot at whatever you see, not whatever is being called. That's why like those Wolfhounds, like one of them was getting damage in, but it was not effective damage. It was basically onto anything he could see. Same for the other Wolfhound, but it was worse for him because he didn't get many angles to shoot.
And realistically, when you're handling a push, when you're receiving a push, like the most important thing, other than being in a position where you can receive, is that first mech you shoot. Is getting guns on target on the first target and taking that first mech down as soon as possible. And if you're not able to do that, I mean, they were able to take down the Spirit Bear, but after that, they took down Firestarter.
I
But
think at that point, the
it's too
Spirit
late.
Bear has done its job. So
Yeah.
basically, getting in, putting some damage in, and being a damage sponge. And by that time, the Wolfpack is on top of you, uncontested.
Moving on to the third match here, it's going to be Caustic. Crimson Strait. With how GNX has been handling receives and aggressive play, I would lean towards seeing ABINS just pushing straight across the water. They're team 2. I would see them push bigs across like this or like this, and then maybe send like an auxiliary force of lights across the side, and really just completely pin GNX in this area. Oh, that's red. We don't want red. I see him getting trapped here in these areas and being pincered.
Yeah, I can see Abin trying to push towards the shoreline from the island. I think that's what they've shown to be able to do in the past.
I mean, it's working really well for them with
Yeah.
the decks that GNX are bringing. It's not being on point enough to handle a push. Like, why change? They're not handling it, so keep doing it.
Yeah.
I could see GNX setting up possibly like a mech there, maybe mech there, maybe mechs back here, and maybe they send some lights over to Theta. I could see like James being in an ultralight and going all the way to Theta, and then possibly coming around and going for Kappa and then Sigma. I could totally see that happening. But then while that's going on, I also just see. I don't know if this line here can be held.
Yeah, it heavily depends on what Abin's gonna do, because in a completely different case, sending James to Theta could be a suicide move. Depending on what Abin does, but like to him, of course. But if Abin pushes the shoreline into Delta 3, Delta 4, I think James is like whoever is sent to Theta, potentially, if there is anyone going there, is going to have a hard time recovering and getting back.
Do you think there's any instance where instead of going across the island, that ABINS maybe does a push? Oh, that's the wrong thing. Perhaps they try something like this, and they go over the saddle and come up behind? Or maybe they can go in the tunnel?
Unlikely. I think it is unlikely if for something like that to happen. Well, one thing that can happen, not necessarily like the better move, but they can send people towards the island and send another push from Fox 5 Echo 5 under the platform into the tunnel, coming out of Gamma to do something like a pincer on them. But it's possible, but not necessarily the better move.
And we'll have to see. Team 1 is locked. Just waiting on Team 2 to lock in here, and we'll be good to go on our third drop. So, David, you got any tea with you today?
Yes, of course. It's right in
Nice.
front of me.
Oh, I've got some good coffee. Although tea sounds better, you know, some tea with a little bit of honey in it.
Yes.
Sounds better than coffee right now.
Exactly.
Mostly because my allergies are just killing me. So I feel like tea does a better job at like that than coffee would, of course.
Yeah. Coffee is usually when I want to like work or do things. Tea is usually when I want to relax.
You know, there's nothing quite like relaxing over the rubble of burned mechs.
Mm.
It's like both teams are green. Should get a locked from Team 2 here any moment. This is the third drop for anybody tuning in of a Division A match between GNX and ABINS. The match is currently 2-0 ABINS' favor. I'm actually going to move this little thing down here a little bit. It's just annoying me where it's at. Not a good spot for it.
Mm-hmm. Okay, waiting for the dropships to come in.
Yep. Just enjoying some beautiful beachfront property here on Crimson Strait.
Yes.
Please contact your local leasing agent. Dropships are coming in with
Reactor online.
Command coming in. Capture and hold the resource points. Stop any hostiles that get in your way.
Yeah. So now
Apparently.
this time, GNX has opted for a more traditional deck with 2 direwolves, summoner, night gear, still a wolfhound, a stormcrow, and a Jenner 2C missile variant.
Interesting.
We have gained Epsilon.
Yeah, and it is a missile bomber, like a lot of SRM4s.
Yep.
Enemy forces have
SRM boat.
Sigma. Kappa is
Okay.
under enemy control.
Okay, now this is interesting because ABIN's not pushing.
No, they're not.
They're going for a hold.
They're like set up to receive right now.
Yeah.
With Stimrog on the back of the mountain, shooting PPCs at, I don't know, how far is that?
It is about 1800 or so.
That's like the end of fall off for PPCs, isn't it?
Yeah.
0 damage.
Yeah, it's basically about sending a message, shooting from there.
Interesting enough, ABINS is pushing over the saddle with the majority of the forces here. They're slowly making their way across.
They're securing Theta because you have to do this move. You can't risk sending a lone mech towards Theta unprotected. You have to assume that the enemy is gonna intercept it, so you have to be prepared.
Yeah, and with where Stim is and these Xes, they're basically leaving tonnage behind to defend Kappa is Sigma, and then they're
Theta is controlled by the enemy.
to grab Theta. They're holding 3 Cap is what their idea is here.
Yeah, I think that's what they're doing. It's basically
They're
a
forcing
cap.
GNX to move, and they are moving across the island.
Yeah, it's a cap hold strat. We just have to see if they can deal with one side of this concave effectively without the other side interfering or being able to cut them off.
Got it. You pop one's mech, let me know. I'll be able to get a little trading action or something on this.
The Stormcrow on GNX side is already legged, almost.
Yep, I've got you up on that right now. On the Stormcrow of Simple Lukio. Hiding behind a rock right now. Might get legged by this strike that's coming in. We'll find out here in a moment.
Yeah, he's legged.
Does get legged by the strike.
Night Gears are completely out of the fight for now. And the Direwolves.
Well, Texan in the Firestarter's water by himself.
Yeah, and he's getting a lot of fire from this Direwolf Buster Machine.
He does make it.
We've captured resource point Sigma.
He wants to get the
his leg is
Stormcrow.
open. Texan's leg is open. That was a costly cross for him.
Yeah. I think he put himself in a really bad position here.
He's legged. Yeah.
Really encapsulated GNX here. They could just take a 5 cap and let him hold this island.
Yeah. And in this setup, James in the Jenner is gonna have a little bit of trouble bringing that Jenner into doing something. The Wolfhound is sort of fresh.
Now they're trying to get Texan down, but
yeah, I think they're bleeding a lot of armor trying to do that, because Texan is basically staying there not like for the sole purpose of like baiting people into shooting him.
Enemy forces have Sigma.
yeah.
Yeah. GNX Night Gear is still fresh, but does seem to be a little bit confused like where he should go.
ABINS is flipping Gamma right now and going for the 4
Yep.
cap. The Simple Ukyo does go down as well as Texan Scrub Lord.
Mm-hmm.
Pushing on the Xyz and Crusaders with their lights, that is a suicide mission. Those are mechs that you typically
James
don't want to
is
push
dead.
with a light mech ever.
Yeah.
Like they all have their dual weapon systems type mechs where they have long range weapons and then they have the short range weapons to defend against a light. And they basically sent 2 lights, in my opinion, to their death to go into this. It's not a group of mechs you want to push lights into ever. Even with multiple lights, like you're gonna bleed for it. Cross in the same location that appears that he took
now
a bit
the
of a beating.
Wolfpack is attacking these island mechs, and the Wolfpack is fresh.
No, the Summoners and Night Gear are kind of holding them off, but not before they're going to go down here really quick.
Yeah.
They both go down pretty handily there.
Yeah. And now it's the Direwolves' turn.
Yeah, Buster should go down here pretty shortly as well. I think GNX just maybe were expecting the push, didn't see it, tried to react by walking onto the island, and just got completely encapsulated.
The enemy has capped enough resources. We've failed.
Well played by ABINS by just literally completely controlling that match.
Yeah.
I felt like they were in complete control of the narrative.
Yeah, I mean, Texan made a risky cross, but every other movement was perfect.
Yeah. I don't know if you want to go over the post-game stats, and I'll handle some lobby stuff. If you still can see that, if not, no big deal. But Bowser pulling 730 damage with this Crusader. Rick Rom in the XC 688. Do some side swaps real quick. we're on to the next map, which is Vitric. Alright. The teams are all placed. They're happy. How did the fire start? I mean, the fire starters did comparable damage to the Wolfhounds. It just, I don't know. No jump jets, bigger mech.
I mean, lack of jump jets like heavily limits how useful the Wolfhound can be. Like, you can never count on the Wolfhound to be a Wolfpack mech. It's basically, you can use it like as a mini mid-range mech if you have a situation that is designed for that role to be a thing. But as a Wolfpack mech, as sort of like a defense against enemy lights, at least like with ER large and medium laser stuff, it's not going to be doing much compared to a fire starter that's just like designed to be an assassin. And you can even like make the fire starter into a mid-range fighter with a light PPC config and still have defense when things get close and in your face.
Yeah. Next map is going to be Vitric. This can be a more aggressive map. The sight lines are more narrow alleyways to shoot through and whatnot. There's no large overarching sight lines.
Yeah. This map, just like Caustic, is one of those maps that you don't have to guess about where the enemy is. You know where they are. And when that's the case, push strats are going to be very, very powerful. Because you rely less on scouting and what the enemy is doing and where they're going, because there's a very limited area where the enemy can be, and you exactly know where to go to find them, and that's what makes this this map very good for aggressive pushes.
Mm-hmm. The sides are slightly different. Very minute differences between the sides, but there are slight differences. I hope with the fact that this map has a bit of verticality that perhaps GNX ditches the Wolfhounds that don't have jump jets and opts for lights and mediums that do have jump jets that might be more viable on this map.
Yeah.
Mistlinks, Vipers, fire starters.
Yeah, I think yeah, GNX would do better if they add to the mix something that can defend against smaller mechs.
Yeah,
I mean, they had it.
Screening.
Yeah, they had it as in the form of a Stormcrow, but they kind of fed their Stormcrow early on to the enemy, and that part of their plan went out the window. So I feel like that has been the area that GNX is lacking in their decks, like having a means to deter those like the enemy wolf packs from like jumping on them. If they manage to plug that hole, they would do a lot better, in my opinion.
Let's take a peek here at the tournament bracket for Division A. Since this is the last match of this week, so far ABINS has got 3 points, so they're sitting at 9. They would need to get 2 more wins. So if they get the next 2 wins, they're basically tied for second place with Equilibrium. And GNX would need, well, they're not going to get it. They would have had to have won at least 4 of the drops to tie ME for 5th.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. GenX is going to be having a hard time.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Yeah.
Most certainly. Most certainly, yeah. Yep. Team 1 is now locked. Down to Team 2. Maybe we see...
ME and GNX also have a match sometime in the next couple weeks.
They play next week. So next week, ME and GNX plays, and that's the match that I'm really curious to see GNX play.
Yeah, I mean, it's sort of going to be like a grudge match between these 2 teams as well. How
so is it a grudge match?
Well, I mean, these 2 teams have had like players from these 2 teams have been part of the same team in the past, and sort of like they split to do their own teams. So it would be some form of a grudge match.
Okay.
And if it's next week, yeah, it's going to be interesting. And funnily enough, it's going to be the decider who's going to be taking the last spot in the division.
Well, you say that, but I mean, 5JDX has played their match. ME has played their match. 5JDX is currently 4th place with 5 points. ME is currently 5th place with 4 points, and GNX is currently 6th place with 0 points.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not including this match. So if they get 0 drops out of this match, they are 4 points behind 5th place and a whole match of wins behind 5JDX for 4th.
Yeah, it's going to be really hard for them to claw their way back to 5th place.
That said, with how they are seeded in this tournament, I believe they fight top down, right? So they do start with the higher seeded teams first, and then they fight their way down the ladder. So perhaps the matches get easier.
Mm-hmm.
So we're on the... Did I switch the thing around? I did. Cool. Nice. On the 4th drop, which is Vitric Station. I actually like this map a lot. It's pretty fun, personally.
Yeah, it is a community favorite. The event queues are held up here a lot, and
coming
seems to
in.
be
Capture and hold the resource points. Stop any hostiles that get in your way.
XE. Kind of more standard.
So yeah, GNX now has some form of defense, at least now.
They have resource point
And
They've taken Epsilon.
yeah, I mean, ABINS going full push again. So this is the perfect map for it, and why not?
Interesting enough, I guess they're going for the low here. GNX does take Theta pretty handily, but ABINS is all above them right now.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to matter as much if this force.
This ramp play could be. They're stacked up on this ramp. Yeah. If they wait, they need to wait for ABINS to push.
I think ABINS knows. Look at their wolf pack.
They're not looking at it at all. Okay, so perfect. This is the perfect time for GNX to go right over the top and come up behind them.
Yeah, they're going it now. And I think ABINS going to see this.
That they don't see it. They need to come up behind and get some back shots. A little early on James's shot. He needed to wait for his whole team.
Mm-hmm.
I think they might have... They did stall the push, but...
Yeah.
Leaders aren't here to get the back shots in.
Yeah, they got one back shot on the Dervish.
Nice. Rick Rom's gonna have to drop
Rick
down.
Rom's dropping.
Nice.
Oh no, the Timberwolf dropped after him as well.
Yeah, he think he's gonna drop to his death. Oh, he does take down the Spirit Bear.
Yeah, but now the Timberwolf is out of the fight.
But this is well played by GNX.
Oh, Timberwolf is out, but it's sort of like anyone's game right now.
And I feel like this
Teos.
Crusader, yeah, Hellspawn of Teos
Teos
goes
is going down. Yeah.
Bowser's
They're
one
after
touch
Bowser
CT.
now. Yeah. Bowser's down. Now, yeah, Stemrog in the Orion is on the ground. Yeah, on the ground. I don't know if GNX knows where he is.
They don't. There's no way they know where he's at. He knows what they are. They know where the Spirit Bear is. Okay, Simrog's shooting now.
Okay, so now they see him.
Yep.
They should not drop. Like
the Spirit Bear's pretty fresh.
Yeah,
and
they can't
Simrog's
afford
also
a mistake here. Yeah, they can't afford a mistake here because if any one of these guys drop down, he's dead.
Yeah, the Lantern is basically legged. What about Yukio? Yukio's pretty fresh, and Buster Machine's kind of freshest.
Yeah, I think one of these Lanterns can easily go and cap.
Well, they have 3 cap against 0.
Yeah, I mean they can make it even worse because James, I think, is
not
not
though, right? They can't get up at all.
No, like James is not in a fighting form.
No.
So go grab some caps.
He is. That's good. So if he goes and gets I think this match is definitely in GNX's favor if they just hold.
Yeah.
They just chill.
Yeah, they're putting shots into Stemrog. Oh no.
For the flip on Theta, which is good. Yeah. Ukyo, ooh, almost accidentally dropped.
And he drops.
Enemy forces have Sigma.
He runs away though. Good.
Yeah. That was unnecessary, but he was lucky. Because the Spirit Bear was looking at him as well.
I mean, they could drop and fight, but like I would not want to drop into a Spirit Bear.
Yeah.
When I'm weak.
James is doing the right thing. He's going around.
The bear's coming up behind Buster.
Yeah.
I would not have shot. I would have waited till I got closer.
Yeah.
He didn't know.
Yeah.
Buster needs to drop towards the land. No, he just gets demolished by the DPS.
Kappa is under enemy control.
Yukio is going for Stimrog all the while James is capping. Are ticking hard. Stimrog is side torso or CT. Both armor is weak. Stimrog does have flamers.
Yep.
Ukyo is a little toasty. Stimrog lost his AC-20, so he only has 2 SRM-6s and a flamer. TTB and the Spirit Bear is going for the chase. I think you should just let them go. They're just going for decaps. They're not even going to try and cap.
Yeah.
I don't know if these two mechs can... Like, if Ukyo can kill Stimrog, GNX just outright wins.
Mm-hmm.
He's thinking about it.
Yeah, I think Ukyo made a mistake by full committing into that Orion. And I think he's making a mistake doing...
I think he's just going to go for the kill.
Yeah. Can he get
it? Got it?
Yes, he can.
I think this is definitely going to be GNX's match. They have 2 mechs.
Yeah, it's like it's going to be really, really hard for ABIN to bring this back unless real TTB can
get a kill. He can't. He can't decap everything.
Yeah, I mean, can get some like amazing shots very quickly and just like decap everything, which I think is out of his capabilities, at least like the mech's capability at the moment.
I don't think the mech can move around fast enough to decap. He's not even gonna try to decap Data. No, it's over.
No.
He's just going for stats.
Yeah.
That was a really good...
Yeah, but
when GNX came to this lower ramp and they waited, that's literally the perfect play for your lights and mediums. And when they pushed over the top, coming behind was good. I would have waited until all my guns were on target to be a bit more
Yeah.
effective on that backstab, but they did it fine enough.
Like it felt like that when Abin was gearing up for a push, I don't know if they knew exactly where the Wolfpack for GNX was waiting, because they put up a UAV. They actually put up a UAV on one of the ramps, and the UAV was right above the GNX Wolfpack. So I was like, and Abin Wolfpack was actually waiting on top of the ramp,
I don't think
basically
they saw it. There's a
anticipating.
lot of cover there. I don't think you'd be able to see it, the UAV.
Could
After
it?
they ran, they would have seen it.
Yeah, it could be that the UAV was being blocked by a piece of geometry. But yeah, the GNX Wolfpack actually like did a great job. Like came up and immediately went after the Dervish. I don't know if the Dervish got backshot by the traders on the GNX side or got backshot by the Wolfpack. And regardless of who backshotted him, it was the perfect move. And I think a
Well,
few
the
people
Dervish only
dropped.
got 21 damage, so he most certainly got backshot.
Yeah,
Or
of course.
maybe
I
ammo
mean, he was back.
explosion.
Yeah, he got backshot, but yeah, it's like the regardless of who backshotted him, it was a good move. But another play was that in that chaos, the Spirit Bear and the Orion
Dropped.
fell down. Yeah, fell down, and that sort of like took away the whole push advantage that these two mechs had, because you don't have jump jets with those. You just bring them and run at the enemy, and just like run them down. Those are like that's the type of the mech these things are. But I think that played into this loss in a major way.
I mean, I've been in that position before where our team's pushed over the top and somebody falls, and you just have to make the decision of you keep pushing or
Yeah.
the person fell. And sometimes that
Yeah.
fall can cost you the drop of, you lose a key component of your push and they fell and
Yeah.
they're not coming back.
I think both the Spirit Bear and the Orion, like if either one of them even could stay on top, it would have been a completely different story. Like those two mechs are really, really good in a push, like extremely good in a push. And either of them, if they were up there pushing with the rest of the team, they would have rolled whoever was on that top on GNX's side. It's just like it was too much of a loss, losing two like main push line ground bound mechs to a fall like that.
I will have to say, now that sitting here in the lobby looking at these logos, they are, oh, chef's kiss. Like there's some logos I didn't even know existed. Look at Exothermic's logo.
Okay.
Like you would have never known what that was before.
Yes.
It looks so good.
Yeah, I think it took 3 hours to grab the high-res versions and basically package them and send them to PGI. But yeah, I
It
mean,
looks so good, man.
yeah,
You can actually see logos now and like what they are. It's really awesome.
yeah. It's like previously it was a 16 by 16 mush, pixel mush.
Yeah, you can even like see the fine text on them. It looks really good.
Yeah.
So this last drop is going to be Forest Colony. Currently 3-1 in ABINS' favor. The only difference with the last drop compared to the first four is that the last drop is tonnage restricted, and you can bring up to 2 of any weight class. So 2 mediums, 2 heavies, 2 lights, 1 assault, sort of thing. As long as you're only bringing 7 mechs, of course. And it has to be under 420 tons. So this drop, there is a bit more thought put into the decks compared to the others where it's just shove your favorite mech or the best mech for the job because there's no tonnage restrictions. There's just chassis or weight class restrictions.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, this is the last drop. Don't know how Abin's gonna approach this.
My money's on the same exact deck they've been bringing. They're going to bring a Spirit Bear XE Crusaders. The same deck we've been bringing the whole time, is my guess.
I would feel a more traditional deck, like mid-range laser bomb stuff, from ABIN. But I could be wrong. Like
Yeah,
I could definitely expect.
Dominant.
I could definitely expect Crusaders from ABIN, but the main body, I would expect to see like mid-range laser bomb rather than like running at them. But we will see.
Team 1 is locked. Now on the Team 2. Yeah, the craziest thing about this deck, or this map, is how far apart the spawns are. Even amongst your own team. I mean, we're talking like 2,800 meters apart. And Alpha and Charlie are like 4,000 or 5,000 meters apart between Alpha and Charlie. Like the map is big. Big. Actually could measure that. It is...
Yeah. Yeah, this is one of those maps that it's like you can't really expect a deck from someone for sure. You have to go by sometimes, like you have to go by like which lances they're in, like what players they're playing. But yeah, sort of like it's all over the place. Like it's very hard to predict.
Yeah, we'll have to see. Looks like both teams are locked, getting ready to drop into the final match.
Yeah, waiting for GNX to lock.
Sometime today. Team 2 is locked. We're on the way.
Yep.
GNX could win this last drop and make it 2-3. They could really bleed ABINS for points.
I mean, it depends on ABIN.
Yeah. They could bleed him.
Yeah. It's like... It's going to be an achievement for them, but if I was going to bet, I would bet on ABIN to win this last drop.
I just want to take this little car here and just cruise around the beach, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. That's...
Here comes the drop ships.
Okay. ABIN is sending it again.
Capture and hold the resource points. Stop any hostiles that get in your way.
And on the GNX side, the dreaded Wolfhound is still there. They have a Flea, Timberwolf, Black Lantern, Marauder 2C, Executioner. So, look,
We have Gamma.
okay, so right off the bat, I'm going to say that ABIN has this in the bag, but if they don't make some like terrible mistake, they have it in the bag.
Enemy forces have Sigma. Kappa is under enemy control. We have gained Epsilon.
They saw the the Spirit Bear same deck. It's they're a big fan of if it works.
Theta is
Yeah,
controlled
this
by
is
Keep
the
using it.
same deck. This is the same deck that they took on Caustic,
Yep.
and if it works, why change it?
ABINS is now crossing this beautiful little stream. Please do not destroy the local wildlife. Lands right in the water. Oh my gosh. War crimes against the fish.
Yeah.
Looks like they're stacking up, possibly waiting, kind of
They're-
trying to get some scouting. Kind of what we talked about on Vitric, how you can just straight push because they can only be in one spot. This map is not like that.
Yeah.
This map you
No,
need
the
to
main
know where
team-
they're at.
Yeah, the main team is sending it now.
In this forest, just ready to receive. We've got these 2 laser vomit mechs just chilling here.
Yeah, and while that's going on, they're taking Kappa, so they are,
Gonna have the 3 cap. ABINS
Yeah,
will
they're-
have the 3 cap.
and the Wolfpack is jumping up top the radio tower.
Well, they're gonna push
They-
Buster Machine and Ukiel off.
Yeah.
It looks like they decided this was not the time to push the top.
Mm-hmm.
I really wouldn't want to push Exy and a Lantern in a light mech personally.
Yeah.
Command confirming that we have possession of Kappa.
TTB or Real, I don't know, whatever his name is. Tried to flew up there, couldn't make it.
No. But again, they're closing the concave on the
Yep.
other side of the radio tower.
Well,
Buster
Bowser's
Machine
already
can-
deep, by the way. Sent it with the Spirit Bear.
Yeah.
Just absolutely holding W.
They've taken Epsilon.
Yeah.
Buster Machine's up top, possibly getting. Oh, he's chasing the Phoenix Hawk. Okay.
Yeah. I think this is ABINS.
They couldn't. GNX could not take Bowser down. He literally solo pushed into their team.
Yeah, they
He goes.
finally goes down, but now GNX has like 3 mechs that are close to dying.
Mm-hmm.
That's 1. That's 2.
Rengoku should go down next. He's currently
Yep.
powered down. I don't know if they realize. They don't. Okay, after the collision, they notice
No,
he's
it's
powered down.
Goes down now.
We'll go for Buster next, or Metal Fortress.
Yeah.
James Bomb and the Flea still up. The Flea that's alive could really delay the match here.
Yeah.
He's almost legged though, but Scout Derek's on the way, chasing him. Buster Machine goes down.
He's gonna get legged in a moment.
He's legged. James is now legged. Metal Fortress is legged. See if Samuli.
Yeah.
It's basically
Yeah,
just a
so-
cleanup now at this point.
Yeah. So ABIN basically did what they do best. First, locate the enemy, like exactly where they are, what they have, what they're doing, and then find the best angle and
Just
send
sent
it,
it.
basically. Yeah.
I still can't believe that Spirit Bear was able to push all the way up to where the
Because
Marauder and Timberwolf was for
what was
free.
happening? What was happening is that at the same time, Abin medium mechs, light mechs, attacked the Executioner on the radio
We've
tower,
gathered enough resources.
and
This
that
triumph
sort of
will
like
provide
took
us
away
huge
the only
tactical
defense GNX had against that, the Spirit Bear. And basically the Spirit Bear just like walked in uncontested. Otherwise, because if you do it normally, that Executioner up there will get back shots on you and you will die before you do anything. But that was like a perfectly synced move that they did on that side, so that I can send in the Spirit Bear uncontested right into the middle of them. Yeah, it was a perfectly timed push that Abin did. Like great pincer. You basically can't do it better than that.
I mean, the Spirit Bear pushed in, was the first mech in, and it still did 400. The damage spread's almost even across the board.
Yes, I mean that's basically the whole job of people attacking the mech on the radio tower was to take away the only defense GNX had against a push like that.
Well, this match is definitely going in Aubin's favor 4-1. That puts Aubin's at, let's see, Aubin's is 4-1. That puts them at 10 points. So that puts JGX at 14 points, Equilibrium at 11 points, and Aubin at 10 points. With 5th Jaguar Dragoons coming in at 5 points, United Mech Enjoyers coming in at 4 points, and GNX coming in at 1 point for the end of week 3, Division A. Looking forward to casting matches next week. Thanks for joining me, Navin. It was a pleasure.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks for watching, everybody. Catch you guys next week.